Do you know what Judaism teaches about the Messiah? It might not be what you think. In Judaism, there are several holy texts, and different Jewish holy texts paint different pictures of what the Messiah will be like. The promise for the Messiah originally comes from the Hebrew Bible. The other books look back at what the Hebrew Bible said and give their take. The Hebrew Bible is a collection of many different stories, and it doesn't directly mention the Messiah in every story. But every story is framed around the expectation for Messiah. Here's how it works. The Hebrew Bible actually gives you two portraits of Messiah. On one hand, a reigning son of David who rules the nations. On the other hand, a humble servant who suffers for the people. From the start, Scripture sets up a tension. Every story in the Hebrew Bible is framed around the expectation for this king of Israel, descended from David, who will be a humble servant like Moses and Joseph. That's why Maimonides can say all the prophets prophesied about Messiah starting with Moses, because the entire Hebrew Bible points to Messiah. But fast forward 1,000 years, the Mishnah, the foundation of Rabbinic Judaism, barely even talks about Messiah. There's only a handful of passing references to him. For the early rabbis, Messiah wasn't the focus. The law was. The Talmud doesn't say much about Messiah either. It only discusses him at length once, and it's a debate about how the Messiah could fulfill both of those portraits in the Hebrew Bible, suffering and reigning. Everyone in the conversation knew the Hebrew Bible taught that Messiah would suffer and that he would reign, and they were trying to make sense of it. Then fast forward again to the Middle Ages, and a famous rabbi named Maimonides reshaped everything. Maimonides consolidated Jewish law into a massive work called the Mishneh Torah. And this Mishneh Torah became the most influential guide to Messiah to this day. But he dropped the suffering servant entirely and focused only on the reigning king. Any streamlined view of Messiah that Judaism teaches today traces back more to him than to the Hebrew Bible. So here's a question for you. If the earliest Jewish sources promised a Messiah who both suffers and reigns, but later Judaism left out half the picture, where should our understanding of Messiah come from? The biblical source or Maimonides' interpretation?